Hey everybody, this is John the Other. Obviously. And if you are a parent of a school-age child or young person, you have a very difficult decision to make because it's September now. It might be a heroic decision, and it's still very difficult. And that is, are you going to hand your children back into the control of what are functionally Marxist indoctrination training centers that we now call public schools? Now, I'm not going to try to prove the case in this video that the public school system is controlled by leftist, radical, weirdo Marxist. I'm not going to try to make that case. If you don't already think that, maybe let me know, and maybe that needs to be explored. But I'm going to assume we can all kind of see that. There have been a bunch of things that have emerged in social media and on YouTube of teachers who have expressed their concern that their indoctrination of children, and that's my characterization, their teaching of social justice ideology to children is going to be imperiled or interrupted or disrupted perhaps by the fact that the school is now being done in some cases through online virtual classrooms, which means that there will be a greater chance of parental or sibling oversight of what is being taught to children. Like, parents can be in the room, parents can monitor what their kids are being taught, which I think is actually a pretty good thing. In fact, it's a fantastically good thing, and maybe the present disastrous state of affairs in society with the violent riots and the economic lockdown and the China virus and all that stuff, maybe this is the silver lining, that the mask is going to come off, and what's being fed into the minds of young people in a controlled environment, maybe that's going to be revealed before it becomes too late, before people who are well-adjusted and happy and prosperous, living relatively decent lives, being productive, going to work, trying to build their communities, trying to have the best result for the kids, maybe they will become made aware that the school system is indoctrinating their children into a very dysfunctional, in my opinion, psychopathic and violent and resentful Marxist ideology, and the end result is that your kids drink that Kool-Aid. They end up throwing Molotov cocktails at, courthouses. Oh yeah, we gotta fight racism. Nobody is more racist than an anti-racist. Courthouses and exchanging gunfire with the police or with other civilians. So if your kids, go down that path, they don't go down the path of having a productive or a happy or a good life. They go down the path of they're going to go to jail quite soon, or they're going to end up in an early grave as a result of a violent death. And I don't think any reasonable person wants that for their kids. It's like an obvious statement of the universe. But of course, with the economic lockdown and shutdown that we're all living in, of course, if you're working out of home, it can be overwhelming to try to stay focused and productive and continue to make some kind of a living while everybody else in your family is also at home. So the homeschooling question is a difficult one. Do you have the resources to do it? Do you have the patience to do it? Do you have the mental energy to do it? And I don't know the answer to that, and it's obviously going to be different for everybody, but it might be the heroic thing that you need to do for your kids to save them, to protect them from being turned into a really dysfunctional, miserable, unhappy, and mentally ill person as a result of the indoctrination that the schools are feeding them. And I don't know the answer to that. I can't, say, well, look at what I'm doing, because obviously I don't have kids. So I can't be offering advice to people whose lives I'm not living. But the other thing, aside from the Marxist indoctrination, is that with all of the measures that are being put in place to supposedly protect people from, trans infection, cross infection in the concentrator that a schoolroom is, remember that part of the job of school and education is socialization of your kids into something resembling a productive and happy, well-adjusted citizen. Well, you put them in, separated cubicles, put them in, wall them off, social distancing, no more than 6 feet together, no physical social contact, and you put little sneeze guards around everybody, and you put a muzzle on everybody. Well, what are you actually training your kid to be? Are you training them to be a productive, engaging person ready to participate and take control of their life? Or are you turning them into a battery hen, a caged animal, to dull their faculties and make them submissive and obedient, and therefore a drone who will never have an original thought in their head, will never do anything except what they're told? I don't know. I mean, I'm a weirdo, so I can't supply the answer for everybody else. Nobody, I can't assume everybody thinks like I do, but I would assume that that's not what you want for your kids. But that is the training that is being put on them under the guise of protecting them from cross-infection. Never mind the fact that all of the public information that we've been told by official sources about the rates of infection, the chance of infection, the effectiveness or non-effectiveness of masks, and so on, I can't say it's all false, but the thing is, it keeps changing. And it keeps changing. Like, we say one thing, then we say the opposite thing, then we say the first thing again, and then say, nobody is confused. Well, everybody is confused, but nobody thinks that the media and the official channels of information are telling you 100% correct, factually and truthful information. At least a major fraction of the time, you're being lied to. So why would you go along with this pretense that they want to protect your kids from infection when it seems quite obvious on 2.5 seconds of thought that it's actually a training regimen to make your child submissive, obedient, and mentally to dull their faculties? So homeschooling is very difficult, and it's obviously very difficult to do it on short notice. If you're going to make a rapid change in how you have your kids be educated, I guess I can't answer. We're kind of counting on an answer, but we don't know what it's going to be. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. I will try to remember to tell people that they should click the bell for notifications. And if they want to support the channel, there's some additional content on my Patreon. And as always, have a lovely, lovely, lovely day.